Happy Friday, Indians. I'm Derek Frecker.
And I'm Jaden Wood, and we want to welcome you back to another episode of Tribe Talk.
Today, we'll be taking a look at Sports with Grant, Scholar Bowl with Jack, a feature with Ethan, and information on Career Day with Addie.
Also, we're going to check our parking lot for Mascoutah's interesting cars with Mason and Aiden. Following up with Women's History Month with Kanoa, and finally, we'll ending with Spuds with Abby.
Now, let's take it over to Grant with sports.
We are finally clearing the cold winter weather and in the midst of spring. With winter sports finished up, spring sports are now underway. Mascoutah spring sports include baseball, softball, girls soccer, boys tennis, and track. Let's go get some info on each team's upcoming schedule. Starting off, we have the varsity baseball team. Their first game is on March 15th at SIUE against Effingham. Next up is the varsity softball team. They begin their season on March 14th at Belleville East. Moving on to girls varsity soccer, they participate in the Metro Cup at home on March 13th. Now on to boys varsity tennis. They will compete in the Triad tournament on March 18th. Last but not least, we have track and field. Our girls JV and varsity have a meet on March 21st in Highland. In addition, our JV and varsity boys have their first meet on March 22nd at home. And most importantly, on March 10th, Mascoutah is hosting the annual dodgeball tournament. If you have signed up, don't forget to turn in your waivers to Miss Etter. Be sure to come and support. The tournament starts at 5:30 in the main gym. That's all we got for sports this week.
Wait, Grant, you forgot about Scholar Bowl. Scholar Bowl had a teachers versus students match on Tuesday. The teachers came out on top, beating the students and won 260 to 210. The JV and varsity have had very successful seasons so far. The JV team has a record of 22-4 and are heading into their last day of competition, while varsity hopes they have a few weeks left. So far this season, the varsity team is 46-15 and has defended their MVC title by going undefeated against their rivals for the second season in a row. The team has a regional tournament on Monday at 4:30 p.m. They welcome anybody who wants to come and cheer them on. Admission is free and cheering is encouraged, but make sure that if you do go, make sure to be respectful to all the teachers and students there. Good luck to Scholar Bowl, and I hope you have a great rest of your season. Now that's all for sports. Let's kick it back to Derek and Jaden.
Thanks, Jack, for the information on Scholar Bowl.
Now, let's take it over to Ethan with a feature on our very own wrestling champion, Santino Robinson.
Thanks, Derek and Jaden. Today we got a student spotlight with Santino Robinson. Let's get into it. Alrighty, so I'm here with
Santino Robinson.
and it's just a little interview over the student spotlight. Alright, so tell me, how's your amazing wrestling career so far?
Well, I ended it with my second state title, 2-time state champ, 4-time state finalist, currently ranked 18th in the country at 132.
So what's like your win-loss?
My record is 139-9.
Did you lose at all this year?
No, I went undefeated, 41-0 this season.
Holy cow. So how tough is it to train for wrestling? Because I heard it's pretty tough.
Well, it's a lot of conditioning. You're out there for 6 minutes, sometimes longer, 12 minutes. And for the whole time, it's just a lot of action, a lot of using every muscle. It's very tiring.
How long have you been wrestling for?
I've been wrestling since I was 6 years old.
Would you say this is the best wrestling that you've had done in your whole career this year?
Yes, yeah. As the sport grows, as I get older, as I grow, I like to grow with the sport, get better. And I feel like I got things to work on. I can always improve, but this year, I definitely improved from last year.
How many hours do you spend training? Like, do you train every day?
Yes.
So how many hours every day?
So I go to practice. That's about a couple hours. And then I run a mile on the treadmill. And then I go home and I go to the gym, 5 hours, maybe.
Do you have to eat like certain foods to keep your physique?
Well, this has been a big change in my life. 5 months ago, I basically ate the same foods for 5 months. I maybe had one cheat meal here and there, like once a week, but I make sure I get 160 grams of protein in, about 2,000 calories a day.
Do you have any advice for new wrestlers starting this year, next year?
It's a tough sport, but I think once you do wrestling and once you're in that room working, grinding, everything in life is that much easier. So just don't quit and just stay with it.
So what made you want to start wrestling?
Well, my dad, he used to wrestle. He used to wrestle in Cahokia. And he wanted to put me in wrestling, so I started out. I was 6. I hated it. I hated the sport for like 5 years. I was like, and then when I got to about middle school year, maybe 8th grade year, that's when I started actually being serious about the sport.
So have you been in Mascoutah all your life?
Before Mascoutah, I went to CBC High School, and my 8th grade year, I was in Mascoutah. I won middle school state.
Thank you, Santino, for this really good interview. Let's take it back to Derek and Jaden.
Thanks, Ethan, and congratulations to Santino.
Hopefully you've all signed up for your Career Day classes by now, but let's take it to Addie for some information about Career Day.
Hello, Tribe Talk. As some of you may have heard, we are having a Career Day for students on Friday, March 10th, which is a half day of student attendance. Here's the schedule of what the day will look like. The career fair will be the only activity happening for the entire school that day. Students will start their day in their advisory for the first 10 minutes, where teachers will take attendance and hand out their schedules for the day. If a student does not have an advisory, they will go to the library for the first 10 minutes. This should be a fun day to learn about a lot of different career fields that don't necessarily require the traditional 4-year college degree, although some do. There are a lot of great presenters coming this year and taking time out of their work days to share their passions with us. So please take advantage of all their knowledge they will be sharing with us, and feel free to ask them questions.
Thank you, Addie, for the information on Career Day taking place next Friday.
And now we take it on to Mason and Aiden for Mascoutah's car highlights.
What's going on, Mascoutah? I'm Mason.
And I'm Aiden.
And in case you don't know, some people drive some pretty cool cars around the campus.
And today we're going to be interviewing the owners of those cars and asking them to rate their car on a scale of 1 to 10.
Let's get into it. All right, what is your name and what car do you drive?
I'm Heidi Ingelagi, and I drive an 86 Chevy K10.
What would you rate it on a scale of 1 to 10?
Probably a solid 8.5.
Do you think others would agree?
Yeah.
Swag. What would you rate this car on a scale of 1 to 10?
A solid 7.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt this broadcast to give a warning regarding the volume of the next clip. This portion of the interview was filmed on Monday, which casted heavy winds and affected our microphones. We are sorry for this inconvenience. Now let's continue on with these interviews.
All right, so who am I here with?
AP.
And what do you drive?
I drive a Toyota Camry TRD.
What would you rate your Toyota Camry on a scale of 1 to 10?
To be honest, I think I rated a 6, solid 6.
All right. Do you think others would agree?
Probably not.
And what would you rate this car on a scale of 1 to 10?
I think it's pretty solid truck right there.
Yeah.
Nice color.
Yeah.
Good rims. I would probably give it a solid 7.
Solid 7? All right. Thank you.
No problem.
All right, so who am I here with? Jack Canadle. And what do you drive? I drive a 2021 Ford Mustang EcoBoost.
Okay. What would you rate it on a scale of 1 to 10?
You know, honestly, I think you should be proud of your own car. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna rate it a 9, solid 9.
A 9? Okay. That's bold. You think others would agree?
You know, from the looks of it, yeah. But once you know like the details and stuff, probably not.
All right.
Probably.
And what would you rate this car on a scale of 1 to 10?
Oh, that one? Isn't that Arians?
Yeah, that's Arian.
Honestly, I'd rate it like a 6.
Like a 6?
Yeah, a good
And
6.
what was your car again?
Like a 9.
A 9.
Yeah,
All right.
6.
All right, what is your name and what do you drive?
My name is Jackson Neal, and I drive a 1966 Ford Mustang.
What would you rate it on a scale of 1 through 10?
On a scale of 1 to 10, well, it looks good, but it doesn't drive good. So I would probably rate it maybe a 6.
Really?
Yeah, that low.
And do you think others would agree?
Sure.
You think you guys would agree with the 6?
Yeah, I think maybe people would agree with the 6.
Okay. And on a scale of 1 through 10, how would you rate this car right here?
Oh, Jack Canadle's EcoBoost Mustang. Now, I could beat him in a race. I can't actually, but I would rate it as a 7 or an 8. It's a solid car. It's a fun car. It has a nice spoiler. I'll give him that. I like his spoiler. Yeah, I'll give him a 7 or an 8. Probably an 8.
Okay, W opinion.
Today I'm here with.
Justin,
All right, and what car do you drive?
I drive a third-gen Supra.
Okay. What would you rate your third-gen Supra on a scale of 1 to 10?
Maybe a 6.
6. Okay. Do you think others would agree?
Yeah.
Okay. And last question. What would you rate this car on a scale of 1 to 10?
I like that. I like that
Mhm.
and that.
Okay.
Solid.
Yeah.
It's got 4 wheels,
It does have 4 wheels.
door handles. Beautiful. I give it a 100.
100 out of 10?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you to everyone who let us record their cars, and let's continue on with the show.
Thanks, Mason and Aiden.
There are some pretty cool cars out there.
Yeah, I agree.
Next month is March coming up, which is Women's History Month. Let's take it to Kanoa to find out more.
What's good, Mascoutah? In honor of Women's Appreciation Month, I'm going to interview 2 impactful women of our own.
Hi, I'm Michelle Cooley. I'm currently the assistant principal at Mascoutah High School. And for the 2023-2024 school year, I will be a head principal at Mascoutah Elementary.
Hi, I'm Miss Johnson. I'm your principal.
Hey, girl, hey.
So this is my first year working with Ms. Johnson here in this role, and I really appreciate her openness to have discussion and dialogue about whatever issues we may be having. Also her willingness to have fun, engage with the students, build great relationships. And so I enjoy her perspective, and I can appreciate her position and how she holds herself in that position, and all the great work that she's doing with our student body and our staff this year.
There are a lot of things that I appreciate about Miss Cooley, but the most is definitely her drive. She's always an advocate for staff and students, and she will do anything that she can to make sure that they come first and that your needs are met, and she doesn't take no for an answer when it comes to supporting all the people here at Mascoutah High School.
The woman that's probably had the most influence on me in my life is my mom. She gives me her work ethic, she gives me her drive, her tenacity, her perseverance, her love for others, her outgoing personality. And so she really keeps me going. She keeps me encouraged and supported. And so I appreciate everything that she has done for me and my sisters thus far in life.
I would say that the person who influenced me most in my life was my mom. She was a single mom for a long time, and actually she was an English teacher here at Mascoutah High School, retired several years ago, but she was also somebody who had drive and was an advocate for all students. She taught us girls that there are no barriers, and whatever you want in life, you create a goal, you work towards that, and not only do you achieve your goal, but great is not great. Excellence is the best. So that's what she instilled in us. And she passed away several years ago as well, and I keep that in my heart all the time. And I've passed that along to not only all my children, but for sure, we're talking about women, women. So to my daughter as well.
I think to succeed in any realm, you kind of gotta put your mind towards that goal and really work towards, right? So I wrote down what I wanted to do a long time ago and decided that I was going to do whatever was necessary to reach my goal. So my goal was to be the principal of a school by 40. And so I worked and I attained all the certificates and went to the classes and I did all the things necessary to get to that goal because that was my desire. And one thing I would share was that whatever your desire it is, wherever you want to go, write it down. Make a goal sheet, make a vision board, do whatever it is that helps you visualize that, and then make notes and steps and action steps to get to where you want to go, because it is possible. It is possible to do anything that you want to do. You just got to put some work in.
My advice is set that goal. So what is it that you want to do in life? What makes you happy? That is very important. You know, we can all talk about having jobs, but whenever you're happy and you're fulfilled in whatever you're doing, that means that your life, you've met your life's purpose. So really set that goal, find out what it is that you need to do to achieve that. And again, you know, great is not the best. Excellence is. So look at what, on that spectrum of whatever it is that you want to do, make sure that you have that plan in place that can get you there. And don't ever look at anything as an obstacle. Think about that obstacle of not just, if it is an obstacle and it's there, how do I either go over it or how do I go around it to reach my goal?
Attention to any current sophomores or juniors who want to be F&P coaches next school year.
Applications will be ready to go on Tuesday, March 7th, and they will be due on the 17th of March.
If you have any questions, please see Miss Gerke or Miss Valino.
To get back to our anchors.
That's all we have for you today, and we want you to
Stay safe and stay classy, Mascoutah.